everybody, thanks for watching the video here. This is a character creation video for Darkfast Dungeons, the fantasy adventure game. Some of you may have already downloaded this or may be thinking of downloading it. It is a role-playing game based on my dungeon crawl game, Darkfast Dungeons. Originally it was supposed to be a 32-page supplement to introduce campaigning to the tabletop crawl game, but ended up being like a 140-page role-playing game, which I'm not complaining about, but it took a little longer to write. So what I wanted to do today is just show you how to make a character. So I printed off a character sheet, and I'm just going to go through the steps. So basically what you do is you print out a character sheet or copy it out. It might be traditional to copy it out on 3-ring paper or something like that if you want to go old school. But let's just make a character here. And I'm thinking of making a character based on my first D&D character named Scrife. Scrife was a magic user. And I never really played him like a magic user. I kind of played him like a thief, and that's probably why he failed so hard. Anyway, so let's get started. How to create a player character. So we'll just go through the step-by-step and the rules here, and I'll put the information on the character sheet. Before we get started, I wanted to take a look at the character sheet because it's kind of designed to mirror the character creation in the rulebook. You have your I guess stats and modifiers here. There's really only one main stat in the game called ability. Ability is your competency. It's how good you are at things. Most players starting out, especially in the basic game, are going to start out with a 2 ability and then go from there. You also have health, and that's how much damage you can take before you are wounded. Magic users and clerics will have power, and power generally is equal to your ability. You lose power as you cast spells if you don't roll well. You have a defense modifier, an armor stat that basically adds up your armor that you take off of damage that you take. There's a hand-to-hand bonus, hand-to-hand damage, range bonus, range damage. You indicate talents here. Gear, spells, and notes can go here, but I find basically in playtesting that you need the back of the sheet for the gear. You generally will need more room than that. You put your name here, the player. It's always good if you're collecting character sheets to know who to give it back to. The origin of a character and the class, and we're going to get back to that in a second. Origin and class are really important. Origin abilities are what you have for being, an elf or a human or whatever. And origin backgrounds are your backgrounds. Origin dark secrets, origin motivator, class abilities, class background, and class dark secrets. So we'll get started on this, and I'll make up Scrife. So first step is to print off the sheet. Second step is to write an ability of 2 and a health of 6 on the character sheet. So I'm going to do that here. My ability of 2 and my health of 6. Choose a character origin and character class. Well, Scrife was a human mage. Magic users or wizards in this game are called mages. So he's a human mage. It says here to record any backgrounds, dark secrets, and motivators on the character sheet. So let's do this. Starting with origin abilities. Go to the origin section here. He's a human. So if you take a look at the human page, you'll see that they have no default special abilities, no unique special abilities for just being human. As compensation, they're considered the most common species in the kingdoms, and humans rule over most of the lands. But we can still, move on from here. So there's no origin abilities, so that you can leave blank. Origin background. You can choose or you can roll. I'm going to roll, just because I think that'll be fun. I'm going to write my name of the character here and my name here. So Scrife, his origin background. You can roll 2d6. So, I never really thought about Scrife's background, other than the fact that he wasn't a good magic user. So I'm going to roll 6. 2d6 roll. Arcana. One free spell can be used once per day. That's a really great background. So maybe this version of Scryf is going to be a better version of Scryf. So Arcana here is one free spell. Can be used a day. So this is like a above and beyond, and I will basically calculate that. The power is still going to be the same, but it's just an extra power point that can be used once a day. Origin Dark Secrets. Human Dark Secrets. It says here that you need to roll once on the Human Dark Secrets table above and record the results on the character sheet. I need 3d6, so I'll have to get another dice from my dice bag here. Whoop. Got everything but. So I've got 3d6. I'm going to add these up, and we'll roll them. Okay, so Human Dark Secrets. Hope it's good. 9, 13. Oh my. Well, this kind of makes sense because, like I said, I played him like a thief. He's dishonorable. Will always support the side that pays the best despite the right or wrong. Now, you can overcome your dark secrets with ability checks, just like, say, Han Solo overcame his dishonorable dark secret and helped with the Death Star after all. But dishonorable, that kind of makes sense for Scryf, so that's kind of neat. So now, after the Dark Secret and background, I have to go to the Motivator, which again is 3d6. Let's see what motivates Scryf. 4, 5, 6, 7. Lucky 7. He is being hunted by a particularly nasty necromancer. So he's hunted by a nasty necromancer. And I'm sure that the GM or whatever can make that necromancer particularly nasty. And what happens is that sort of works like a hunted as well. Okay? All right, so class. Okay, class abilities. So the class I want to choose is Mage. And I'm going to roll my class ability here. So I've got a couple abilities. He has spellcasting. This is a talent. I'm going to write it here instead of there, though, just because it's part of his abilities. And basically, it's the spellcasting talent. So he can make an ability check, +1, to cast a spell. Okay? And we'll get to that when we do the play test. He also has magic power. Now, magic power is what allows magic users, or mages, to cast spells. So they can cast their ability and spells, power points, and then they must rest a minimum 6 hours. So my power then is going to be 2. That's easy. Also, oh, wait. Mages get +1 ability. Mages are at 3 ability, so that means I have 3 power points. Years of scholarship made them more able than most common folk, so add 1 to the ability. And this kind of reflects the fact that a lot of mages in fantasy literature generally are a little older or a little more capable than your standard lug. All right. Dark secrets. Okay, so class background first. 2d6 for my class background. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is, a treasure. He starts with 2d6 gold pieces. So let's just roll. Oh my, 6, 9. 9 gold pieces. So probably something he stole. And for dark secrets now. So he's got a couple of dark secrets he's going to have to figure out. He's going to have to figure out a a basic dark secret, which is listed here, which is a weapon and armor restriction. So no non-magic weapons or armor. That's basically it. And 2 more. So I have to roll on my Mage Dark Secret table. So 3. He is a hunter. He is seeking revenge on evil mage. I wonder if it's the nasty necromancer. And a disability. Okay. I've never really thought about this for him, but I'm going to make him hard of hearing. Just the reason is because maybe there was a lab accident and it damaged his hearing. So he's at -1 to hear. So any ability check or roll that I need to hear something will be at a -1. So for example, if I was being, some orcs were sneaking up on Scryfe, they would roll their sneaky roll, and Scryfe would be at a -1 to hear them, which kind of sucks. But what are you going to do? Okay, so what I haven't done here, so I've recorded that information, but what I haven't done is I haven't chosen my talents. Okay, which I should have probably done before, but that's okay. 3 ranks of talents from the lists on the origin and class pages. So I'm going to go to human, and I'm going to go to mage, and I'm going to look at the classes that are listed here, or talents. So awareness might be good. Mage and human both have awareness. Craft, connections, deduction, elusive, gear, lucky, scholar. Awareness, connection, gear, physical, charming, craft, lucky, writing. Okay, so I need to pick 3. Well, I'm going to pick charming. I'm going to pick deduction. I like solving mysteries. And I'm going to pick scholar. And I'm going to make him focus on history. So not combat-based, and doesn't certainly offset his poor hearing, but it's more like how I imagine the character. A little suave, a little overconfident. He can figure things out. Well, I'm thinking this is looking pretty good. And essentially, you're done, except for gear. So that's how quick it is to make a character. It's just combining an origin and a class and making some choices there. Okay, so now I consult the gear list and equip your character for adventuring. Now I have some starting gold here at 9 gold pieces, but a mage has some starting equipment. So he starts with a light weapon. So I'm going to give him, he always carried a staff. He can use it as a hand-to-hand weapon. Also, rare materials, spell materials. Oh, I haven't picked his spells yet. Also, I've already got the staff for casting spells. So he's already got the staff. And 2d6 gold pieces. So when you combine that with the 9, that's 7, plus 9 is 16 gold pieces. So I'm going to put that up here so it's nice and clear. Okay? Now, spells. He always had magic missile. Gotta have magic missile. So I'm going to go to the spell section of my book and go into magic spells here. And how many magic spells do I choose? I choose a number of spells equal to my ability. Okay. Now I can cast an extra spell once per day. So technically I could cast 4 spells. Alternately, you can use 2 power points to bump up the power of a spell, but that's another thing. We'll check that out once we do some playing. But what spells do I have? Well, let's make a little section there. Figure this out. Okay, so spell-wise, I'm going to pick... So, I wanted Magic Missile. Gotta have Magic Missile. What's a mage without Magic Missile? Then, I need something maybe defensive. So maybe I'm going to do protection. Protection, we don't know that, but protection lasts for 1 encounter and creates a glowing field of energy around the character that acts as 3 points of armor. So I'm going to call this 3 armor, because I can't wear armor, so it might be nice not to get schmucked. And one other spell, I want something, I've got an offensive spell, I've got a protective spell, I want something a little funky. And I think I might use, I was thinking Charm, but I've got Charming. So I might choose something like Second Sight, maybe. Now, Second Sight, or True Sight, Second Sight allows you to see the future, so you get a bonus to rolls, which is interesting. But True Sight, you can understand any language, see any hidden characters or monsters, and detect traps and secret doors in line of sight. This lasts for the character's ability times 2 in game turns. I kind of like that. Especially if I'm going to get, people or monsters sneaking up on me. It'd be nice to have that. Okay, so Magic Missile, Protection, and True Sight. All right, I think I am done. If I'm going back to the character creation here, each player character starts with a hero point. More if they have the lucky talent. So I'm just going to write my hero point down here. I wish I had more. All right. Anyway, there's Scryfe. I'm going to gather up a miniature, and I'm going to just quickly go through a quick encounter. One of the things I can do here is I can calculate this, but I don't have any modifiers at all. There's no hand-to-hand modifier, no defensive modifier. I don't have elusive, for example. Not small. So this would pretty much remain just as is. Armor, I can't wear armor because of my weapon and armor restriction. So it's just all going to be as is. I could put 0s there if I wanted, which I think I might just do. Okay. And Scryfe is done. So that's it for now. Take care. That's pretty much how fast it is to make a character.